Hey, Eric.
Good afternoon,
Hey, how we
everyone.
doing?
Welcome. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to settle in and get fully logged in. Thank you for joining us today. Coming in, and then we'll get started. Again, good afternoon, and welcome to my collaborative team's advanced learning series. This has been an exciting year for us. We normally end our learning series in October, but as many of you know, for November and December, we decided to dedicate these months to marketing. We had a tremendous presentation last month on using empathy in your marketing, empathy marketing. It was a great start to the marketing training. For those of you attending the Florida Academy of Collaborative Professional annual conference this coming May, Eric will be presenting on empathy marketing at that conference, so we're excited. If you're not a member, we invite you to check out our website at mycollaborativeteam.com. We hope you'll join us and support what we're doing. For most of our members, their MCT listing appears near the top of a Google search of their name. As I mentioned, we've been focusing on marketing, and today I'm excited by what Eric's going to be presenting to us. He's going to be talking about building your brand in the collaborative world. This is going to be very interactive. Get out your pencils and paper and be ready because Eric's going to have you doing a little work um, on building that brand. So we're very excited about that. Before I introduce Eric, I want to invite everybody to our happy hour tomorrow, Friday, as always at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And I want you to bring your request cap, sort of your desires for next year, because we're beginning to build our advanced series for next year, and we'd love to hear from everybody as to what it is they'd love to learn, what types of sessions they'd love for us to continue doing. So with that, Eric is a collaborative marketing coach. He's the owner and operator of Sachs Multimedia, a full-service marketing firm that supports businesses in achieving their marketing goals. Since 2015, Eric has focused on marketing the collaborative process, working with notable organizations such as the Miami, Florida Practice Group, the Florida Academy of Collaborative Professionals, of course, my collaborative team, and he's worked with the International Academy of Collaborative Professionals. Eric and his team offer a comprehensive suite of services, including collaborative marketing coaching, social media management, website design and development, email marketing, and more. His hands-on approach ensures tailored marketing strategies that bring each client's vision to life. Oh, I may have said 4 p.m. Happy hours at 4:30. I've been corrected. Thank you very much. I apologize for that. Before I turn it over to Eric, I invite you at the very end. Eric's going to talk about a training series that he's providing coming up in February. That's going to be a tremendous dynamic series. We spend time making ourselves the best collaborative professionals. You need to consider making yourself the best marketed collaborative professional. Eric, tell us how to build our brand.
Yep. Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for being here today. Start sharing my screen so that way we can all see my presentation. Wonderful. So I want to welcome everyone here today to this advanced training session, Building a Personal Brand in the Collaborative Space. Together, we're going to explore strategies to define, build, and strengthen your unique brand as a collaborative professional. This is going to be an interactive presentation, so I really hope to get everyone's feedback. If you have um, pen or paper, please get that out. If you want to take notes or on your computer, I'm going to provide exercises that will hopefully help you not just today, but as you grow your collaborative professional and your marketing evolves. Because as we know, marketing is kind of an ever evolving space that we all need to always make sure that we are staying up to date with and ensuring that our messaging is in line with the service that we provide. So we're going to dive in and see how this can transform not just your practice, but the lives of your families that you serve. So um, this presentation should help you utilize the skills and knowledge that you already have to think about how you can practically create a branded marketing strategy. And before we really jump in, I'd like to ask all of you, who are some collaborative professionals you think have truly branded themselves as collaborative professionals? Not that they just practice collaboratively, but that the collaborative, not that just collaborative is a part of their practice, but they have made it their professional identity. So if you have anyone that you could think of in your community or put it in the chat. I see a couple people posting names of what I think their local professional are. Elizabeth is confident herself, and we love to see that. Woody Mostyn, of course, is a collaborative professional many people know across the country. Susan Guthrie, Ron Owski. Some of these people are well known because they are presenters. They're getting their knowledge out there. They're becoming thought leaders. Nancy Hetrick is someone that Sally mentioned. Some people that I think of, Adam Cordover, another trainer. So, kind of some common themes there. If you guys know these people, or if you don't, some of the names I recognize, the common theme is, they're training, they're getting their knowledge out there. They've branded themselves as thought leaders within the collaborative community. Others that I like to think of when I think of well-branded collaborative professionals, the late great Kevin Scudder. He had a slogan that really helped to brand himself. It was peacemaking. Let it begin with me. And anytime you saw Kevin, whether it's his website, his social media, in person at IACP conferences, he would have a pin that he would have for himself, and he would also pass those out. And everyone knew that that was Kevin's slogan. Another professional that I find has branded themselves in a great way is Carol Hughes, who many of you know. And she's utilized a niche area to help do that. There isn't a presentation or meeting that I go to where adult children of divorce are brought up and someone doesn't reference Carol Hughes. She's branded herself by writing a book and doing blogs that are posted on Psychology Today about adult children and divorce and all the different topics that she can relate to. And one that has a little special meaning to me, Ed Sachs, as a thought leader through the platform of my collaborative team, which is available to all our members to utilize at their leisure. Ed has helped establish himself as a thought leader across the country and in North America as a collaborative professional and thought leader. People are naming, I'm sure, their practice group leaders or statewide leaders, people that have put themselves out there to be truly part of this community. So if you're finding some themes here, it's that people that have shared their knowledge, they've helped find, again, a niche. They've come up with a slogan and they've really stuck to it and used it in the branding that they have all across the internet and in person. Why does why does personal branding matter, especially in the collaborative field? First, it helps you differentiate you from others in the field. It builds trust and establishes you as an authority. Most importantly, it connects clients to your unique approach and it makes them feel confident in choosing you. So our goal today is to equip you with the practical tools to define, craft, and promote your personal brand effectively. By the end, you'll have actionable steps to enhance your visibility and influence. The first step in building your personal brand is defining your core identity. Start by clarifying your values. Qualities like empathy, respect, confidentiality, and empowerment often resonate deeply in the collaborative practice. Then craft a clear mission statement that communicates your purpose. For example, I empower families to navigate separation peacefully, prioritizing their well-being and future through the collaborative process. Now, it's a lot more than just telling people, yeah, I'm a collaborative professional. I'm a divorce professional. I help people, in difficult times. You go a lot deeper in connecting with people when you have a branded message. Next, identify your unique strengths and ask yourself, what do my clients appreciate most about my work? And utilize that question in building a brand message that you can convey and kind of have universally to share about yourself with professionals and potential clients. So at this time, I want everyone to just take a quick moment, write down three strengths that you think you have that can help you complete a mission statement. So maybe this is a niche that you have. Um, you're really find yourself to be a great um, person in building out co-parenting strategies. Maybe you're a financial planner and you have expertise in helping people that have a family business and dividing those assets or figuring out what that business is going to look like going forward. Maybe you find a strength in high conflict couples. Um, and so take this time again, list out a couple strengths that you have. If anyone wants to share or put it in the chat, you can. But again, a lot of this work is going to, or these exercises are going to help you after this presentation and throughout this presentation to help you truly define a brand message. So let's say, you think that co-parenting strategies during divorce is a strength of yours. Your brand promise is I provide guidance and tools to help parents create co-parenting plans that prioritizes their children's well-being. And now think about it. If you're a parent, who doesn't want the best for their child? Um, I think it's very hard to find someone that doesn't want that. And so again, as opposed to just saying, I'm going to help you write a co-parenting plan, you have a brand promise. Maybe financial planning. I help couples achieve financial clarity and confidence by providing tailored solution for equitable settlements. Again, tailored solutions for equitable settlements. Not every case is the same. You have expertise in working with a wide range of professionals a wide range of cases and financial matters that can help you directly help the clients, that are coming to you. And I see some people shared good explainer, empathetic, calming, comfortable working in the DV space. So that's a great one. And letting people know that maybe if they're in a relationship where they're scared or they're unsure about how they're going to reach agreement with their spouse that has been controlling, you can tailor your branding and your messaging to those specific people, and they're going to know right off the bat that you help those type of people. Good brainstormer. So, I'm a collaborative professional or a divorce professional, a peacemaker that thinks outside the box, as you put there. And that can be a part of your branding messaging. So again, crafting your brand voice. Your brand voice is how you communicate your values and your personality to clients. Do you want to be seen as warm and approachable, calm and composed, or maybe you want to be clear and authoritative? Choose a tone that you feel is authentic to you. Using a consistent tone is key. Your voice should align across all platforms, whether it's your website, email, or social media. Again, you don't want to be someone that's out in the public saying, I'm a peacemaker. I help people out of court. And then your website just doesn't convey that message, or the social media doesn't convey that message. You don't know. You can find out once they get to you, but you don't always know where the first place someone's going to find you or see content about you. It might not be in person, it might be online. So making sure that all your platforms, and it kind of goes for your office staff, if you have office staff, people that answer your phones, or maybe you have a phone service, making sure that the way they answer the phone and that first communication is a consistent message is really important to helping build that brand. Again, go back to some of the people that we named and you all named as people that you think off the bat that have a great collaborative brand. They've made it their professional brand, not just that they have collaborative as a service that they offer. Those people have really stuck to it and they put their branding on every aspect of the work they do. So again, I ask you to get out your pen and paper or your notes and write down 3 adjectives that describes your tone. Maybe you think that your tone is reassuring, professional, supportive, and it's okay to be critical of yourself. That's why we're here. Maybe you feel like sometimes you're a little bit too strong in your emails. Maybe you feel you're a little too pushy or you use too much litigation speak in your communications, whether it's with professionals or potential clients. Think about that for a moment and write down some adjectives that you think describe your tone. If you want to be warm and approachable, you want to be friendly, caring, conversational. Maybe you want to be calm and composed, and your communications need to be grounded, logical, soothing. I see Elizabeth put empathetic, warm, and direct. Very, very good brand voice to have in the collaborative space. And again, not just in emails, but in all communications that we have. It's easy for us in the moment to, especially in emotional moments, to get away from that. But the more that we can train ourselves and practice and work on utilizing a consistent brand tone in our messaging, the more of a consistent brand we're going to be able to help build. Um, so after you have your adjectives and you have some of your um, strengths to help you write your mission statement, what I want you to do is take some of this home with you after the presentation, because this is a little bit more in depth, and look at some of your previous communications, maybe some of the ones that you were really proud of. Maybe you can, again, think back to some of the ones you aren't so proud of and look at them and kind of analyze them to help you rewrite those communications or rephrase those communications to fit your brand and your voice, and utilize the good ones and maybe take those and look at some of the bad ones and say, how could I have reworded this? How could I have, you know, explained this differently? How could I have used a more calm, friendly, caring, conversational tone, or a more confident, knowledgeable, direct tone? Maybe you seemed a little bit wishy-washy in some of your communications, unsure of things. Um, an example, and maybe a response to an email was, hi, let me know if you want to schedule a meeting. Thanks. Very basic, quick, I don't have a lot of time, but we need to get this meeting scheduled. That might not be the most approachable tone. It's not very warm. It's kind of straight to the point and direct and almost like, don't waste my time. Let's just do this. But as opposed to, I hope this message find you well. I'd be happy to schedule our next meeting at a time that works for you. Please let me know your availability and I'll take care of the rest. So again, key component of the collaborative process, the clients are in control of the time. It's not, hey, we need to get this scheduled because we have a court date coming up, or we need to schedule this because we have an upcoming meeting. Hey, I haven't heard from you in a little while. We have a team meeting scheduled. Does that time still work for you? And if so, is there a time that you can meet beforehand so we can go over a couple things? Or if not, let me know what works in your schedule and the team would be happy to get it rescheduled for you. All of this brand messaging goes into your branding and how people view you. Again, and we'll get to it but for potential clients and professionals that you work with, colleagues, they're going to start to pick up on, yeah, it's really pleasant to communicate with, Gary, because the way he communicates back is very pleasant. He's warm, he's welcoming, he's always understanding when things get changed around, or he's easy to work with, and that will come across in your tone. Um, and it's a big part of how you brand yourself as a collaborative professional. And absolutely, Sharon, AI can do this work for you now. If you have an email that we just said, hey, let me know if you want to schedule a meeting, and you think that's just too direct and not warm enough, take that one line, plug it into chat gbt and say, hey, can you make this a more warm and welcoming or more inviting email? And they're going to help you out. Absolutely. If anyone has any questions or wants to give any thoughts or insights at this point, I'd be happy to take that. I don't need to necessarily go through everything at a quick pace. We can definitely take some time here if other people have questions or thoughts they'd like to share. I know some people are sharing them in the chat. Okay, we can move on for now.
Eric,
And we
Eric,
go ahead.
I had one thought. It's interesting as I was watching, and I was even one of them who put down the word empathy, to describe ourselves. I wonder, one of the things that you got to remember is what the client, or a potential client sees when they see you say you're empathetic? What does that mean? I think it's important to make sure that you go beyond just using single words, in that sense that, what does that mean to somebody to hear, well, I'm empathetic.
And
Okay.
and to build off that too, we talked about the difference between empathy and sympathy in last month's training, and that goes directly to your messaging and communication. It's easy to lead an email saying, I know this is a difficult time in your life, but we need to get this next meeting scheduled. That's providing sympathy and not empathy. It's, I understand the emotional time you're in. And we have professionals that are here to help you. Would it be beneficial for you to schedule some time to speak with them? They can help you get through this process. And if we schedule a meeting, I really think that they can help you get over this hurdle, and provide the empathy that you can in your branding, as opposed to just some sort of sympathetic email to get to the root of what it is you're emailing about. So one of the ways we talked about how to brand yourself, and in one of the examples that I gave, and I'm sure that you all can think of others, was Carol Hughes. She's branded herself through a niche, of helping adult children, or helping people going through divorce that have adult children and getting the adult children involved. So one way to stand out is to highlight your niche within the collaborative process. Perhaps you specialize in co-parenting strategies, financial planning, or as we mentioned, working with high conflict couples. You all know yourself better than anyone else. So think about what it is that you have a niche in. Your niche can help position you as an expert in that area. We all want to be experts in the collaborative process, of course, but go a step deeper. You know, um, Helping clients see why they should choose you because you have a niche is a big part of your branding. And with that, you want to craft a brand promise that reflects those strengths. Um, you know, I'm Carol Hughes. I've helped dozens of families with um, children with adult children during their divorce. We understand they have a voice, and if you have adult children in divorce that you want them to be a part of the process, I can help you with that. I provide clarity and comfort through each step of the collaborative process to help families make thoughtful and peaceful transitions. Telling people that even during the divorce process, it can be peaceful. You can, have meaningful meetings that aren't just with you fighting. Um, And so, with that, I want everyone to just take a moment, write your personal brand promise, and ensure it aligns with your unique focus. Um, and again, it doesn't have to be the final version of it, but what would be your brand promise? And using some of the words that you've learned that we've written down, to ensure that it aligns with your unique focus. And Bernard, providing an opportunity to be heard. That's not, and I believe Bernard's a lawyer. That's not necessarily something you would hear from a divorce attorney. They're going to do the talking for you. They're going to be your lead voice, as opposed to Bernard saying, "I'm going to turn it around and say, I'm going to make sure that I hear you, and that you have an opportunity to be heard throughout this experience." And again, just some examples. Co-parenting, maybe co-parenting strategies is your specialties. I provide guidance and tools to help parents create co-parenting plans that prioritize their children's well-being. And I know that's one we went through, but I just think that is such a powerful impact when talking about children and divorce. That what person doesn't want the best for their children? Um, if they don't want the best for their children, maybe they're not right for this process in general because they have other issues going on. But I think even in some of the worst cases, you all can agree that 99% of the time, they're able to put what's best for their children first. Um, and I see people are sharing in the chat, and I really love that. Um, Gary said, "I'll help you develop a proposal that your spouse can accept." And Ed said, "Not a proposal, an option for settlement." So even that, when you write down those words, you can refine it. And that goes back into all of this. We're constantly refining our messaging because what sounded good yesterday might not sound good today, or what sounded good today can sound even better tomorrow. And talk with your colleagues and get feedback from those that you're serving. And we'll get to that here in a little bit on feedback and utilizing that to help brand yourself the best way you want to be branded.
Eric, one of the things, and that was my reason for putting in, an option for settlement instead of that, because when you brand, it seems to me when you brand yourself, you become an example. And if you provide that example to the clients early on, we're always trying to model for our clients our best collaborative by watching our language, watching, how we deal with things. That's it hits them first with your marketing.
And it goes back to that consistency that we need to have in our brand. And making sure that we're not, obviously there's going to be times that you slip up and maybe you do send off that quick email, but don't let that be every communication that you have. Make sure to recenter yourself, refocus, take the time. And I think it's easy in your position to get away from that. If you have five or six, collaborative cases going at one time, and maybe you have some other, mediated cases, it's easy to lose that, especially when you have a blended mix of services that you're providing. That's why I find it, from what I hear, not that I'm a practicing lawyer, but to me, it seems like it's extremely difficult to brand yourself as someone that litigates, but also collaborates. To me, you're just a divorce professional that provides any type of service that your client wants when they come to you, and you kind of let them direct you as opposed to drawing in the clients that you want for the services you want to provide. If you want to provide litigated cases, great. You'll see the you'll see the lawyers out there that are, we'll fight for every dollar. And I know that's in more injury, law firms. You'll see we'll fight for every dollar, no money down. Will you only get paid if we get paid? Those type of things. That's how they're branding themselves. No one's going to go to them if they want to settle this out of court in an easy, peaceful way. They're going to go to them if they want to fight. So why can't we do that on the other end? Brand ourselves as peacemakers and come to us without needing to fight, and people will start to see that and they'll start to recognize that. So we talked about the messaging, but obviously there's a lot of visual that go into it. Your visual identity reinforces your brand and creates recognition. We talked about that with Kevin Scudder and the logo that he has and the pins and handing those out everywhere he goes. Choose colors and fonts and imagery that reflect your tone and values. For instance, calming blues and greens can suggest peace and support, while minimalist design can convey professionalism. Use branded templates for social media posts, emails, and documents to maintain that consistency. So again, whether it's on your website, whether it's a pin that you're giving out, whether it's your email slogan, peacemaking, let it begin with me.
Sure.
If you see that on someone's email signature, what are you going to think about them? That they're going to want to take you to court and they're going to want to turn this into a litigated battle, or they're going to want to be able to work this out and have it be collaborative. I think it's especially useful when you're communicating with professionals you've never worked with before. How many times have you worked with a collaborative professional for the first time and you're kind of unsure about where they stand in the process, or how they're going to practice? If they return an email to you and it says, "Let peacemaking begin with me," I think you're going to feel a lot more confident than, if their slogan was, "We'll fight for you." So all of that messaging and all of that branding, and all that visual branding runs hand in hand. To connect with your clients, your messaging should focus on their needs and their concerns. Key messaging pillars such as collaborative divorce prioritizes families' well-being, communicate the core value of the collaborative process. It's not just about how you're going to come out on the end and are you going to be okay. It's about your entire family. And as all of you know, especially when you have children, you're a family for life. It's a little bit easier when it's just a couple that doesn't have, anything but financial assets tied to them. But those are few and far between. A lot of people, maybe they have pets, and even that will tie people together as a family as long as the pets are in their lives. Wouldn't they rather know that this process isn't going to be only great for them as a solo person and leave their ex-spouse in ruins, but it's going to leave their entire family intact in a way that they're going to be able to move forward in a peaceful manner that's not going to create animosity. Um, Empathy, and we talked about this in our last training. Empathy is crucial. Frame your services in terms of client outcomes. For example, instead of saying I facilitate collaborative divorce meetings, which facilitators might say when they're talking to people, yeah, I facilitate the process. I help families create peaceful and customized solutions for their future. It's so much more impactful. I lead the process in helping families. I drive the team in helping families create peaceful and customized solution for their future. I'm the quarterback of whatever it is you want to use. But just telling people I facilitate collaborative divorce meetings, A, it doesn't mean much to people, and B, it doesn't really convey the impact that you have in the branding of yourself as a skilled professional to help them through this process in a peaceful manner. I'm just reading Bernard's comment. He said,
Eric, can I
yes,
make a
guidance.
can I make a comment first to Gary? I'm sorry, Gary, I keep picking on you, but one of the things that I always like to do is have three or four or five people read my marketing, my lines, just to see their reaction. It's again, it comes back to what is the reaction somebody going to have? Because one of the things I like to make sure of is that everything is positive, in that nothing I say can be looked at as in any way negative. So I want to read out loud what Gary wrote, which the is there. Creating evolution, creating a settlement that you can both live with. My reaction to that, Gary, was, is that the best you can do for me? What we can both just live with? As opposed to maybe saying creating a solution that meets both of your needs or
Mm,
both of your interests. Um, you know, so it's important to keep your message very positive.
Thanks, Ed.
absolutely. And Elizabeth put in there that, kind of echoing what I said, that, you're here to help your family. It's not just about you. And while it's very easy in the moment, I'm the one dealing with the problems. I'm the one that's taking the abuse, or I'm the one that's not that wants to get the divorce. Sure, but it's still, again, it's your family structure that's going to be changing. There's more than one stakeholder in the divorce process. Again, without thinking about it, you guys know better. Let's say 90% of the time, it's not just a one-on-one separation. It's one plus three, if they have children, separating from one plus the same three, and it's working together and it's helping all of those people out and not just you. I'm not going to help just you get through the divorce. I'm going to help your family get through the divorce. And that it seems so small and simple, but when you hear it and you feel it as a consumer, it makes that much more of an impact. And so utilizing that type of wording and that type of phrasing, again, it's going to help build your brand and it's going to help people understand that you are someone that's not just here for individuals, you're here for the entire family. And we're facing an uphill battle because that's just what the divorce process has been conveyed to be. Where any most legal process is made to be is a 1v1 battle. It's him versus her versus her, or whatever the dynamic is. It's two people versus each other. When in most battles or most legal disagreements, it's not just that, and you all know that better than I do. There's so many more stakeholders involved, and the more that we can convey, or you can convey in your branding, that this process or you as a professional helps all of those stakeholders, the better off people are going to understand the service that you provide, because they're not going to necessarily understand I provide collaborative divorce process. That's just not a reality of where we live right now. But if they can understand that I can help your entire family or all the stakeholders, I think it's such a more powerful message and a powerful brand that collaborative professionals can build on. It's just a couple more things here on developing your key brand messaging. Um, you might already have some messaging pillars. You know, collaborative divorce is a child-centered process. Sure, but you can provide an empathetic response to that concern, and an empathetic approach to that messaging. You know, we understand how deeply you care about your children. Through the collaborative process, we work to minimize conflict and create a plan that supports their happiness and stability. So you're not even starting with divorce. You're starting with their children. Again, you're going to grab their attention. You're going to grab their ear. It's not, I'm going to help you and your ex work through a parenting plan for your kids. It's, I understand that you care about your children. I have a process, the collaborative divorce process, that's going to help you minimize conflict and create a plan that supports their happiness and stability. You know, the collaborative process fosters dignity and respect for all parties. It's an easy way to describe the collaborative process. But how can you provide that in an empathetic way? How can you provide empathetic branding that's relatable? This is an emotional time, and it's natural to feel uncertain. We're here to help you navigate that process with dignity, preserving important relationships as you move forward. Because again, especially when you have parents, having a relationship after a divorce is super important. So, getting deeper into that when you're conveying your messaging, when you're trying to convince potential clients to choose the collaborative process, it's not just the collaborative process is going to help you, you know, and we're going to take into account your children. It's not where collaborative process is going to be a more respectful way than litigation. Provide a more empathetic approach, provide more empathetic branding. And again, we talked about it in our previous training, and I'm happy to share that recording with anyone that would like it. Use empathy, not sympathy. It's a lot more relatable when people feel connected to on an individual level as opposed to just lumping them into, you know, something you've seen before and you have the experience to get them through this process. People don't want to just get through the process. They want to be better off when it ends. Another way at the start, again, when we were naming people that you think of off the bat as, you know, well branded collaborative professionals, they're thought leaders. Position yourself as a thought leader. Positioning yourself as a thought leader can enhance credibility and attract clients who value expertise. Write a blog or articles, speak at a conference, or host webinars to share your knowledge. Personalized insights or anonymized client stories or anonymizing client stories can be especially impactful. They humanize your brand and they demonstrate the value of the collaborative process. And you might think, well, I have nothing to present on, or that's not for me. But again, go back to, and this is why we were writing them down, some of the words that you use to describe yourself, some of your strengths, some of your adjectives. You know, maybe it is you have in compare what you feel in comparison to other professionals that you work with, you have a calm demeanor, that you have techniques, whether it's, you know, breathing techniques, whether it's compartmentalizing techniques, that you can share with other professionals to show a more calm approach to the divorce process. Write a blog about that. Present to your practice group. It doesn't have to be, you know, at the statewide level if you're not comfortable with. Present to us here at MCT. We'd happy to put that on for you. Help build yourself as a thought leader. I'll use Ed here as the example again. You know, how many people across the country knew who Ed Sachs was before my collaborative team? He's utilized the platform to help establish himself as a thought leader in the collaborative community through blogs. He hasn't presented a whole lot to MCT over the course of MCT times, a couple of times, but it's really through leading his virtual happy hours on Friday, putting out topics that are engaging to people that he has had real life experience on. If you've ever attended the Friday happy hour, he's just using real life experience to help be a thought leader. What did he do? And he's not always saying that he's right. And a lot of the times, you know, he's not right. Um,
Eric, what I would share, and when you talk about writing blogs, folks, blogs can be as simple as this. You've all had a successful collaborative case. Tell us about it. Tell the world about it. You don't have to use names. Tell the world about your successful case. About what went right. If you've had a case that's been difficult and you were successful, write about it. How did you overcome? It's that simple. Your own actual experience make for great blogs that turn you into a thought leader.
Ask, I'm sure IACP is always looking for content to publish, and they'd be happy to give you that platform. The platforms to become a thought leader are out there. It's just how well are you utilizing them to build that brand. Um, so again, let's just take a moment and list a few topics that you're passionate about. So that way you can go home and outline some blogs, or maybe you're comfortable doing video and you just want to pop open a Zoom and record yourself and turn it into some video content. Again, you all are experts at what you do, and I'm sure you can all find something that you're passionate about or strengths that you have, and that knowledge that you can share to professionals and potential clients that you might be seeing. You know, um, Again, maybe a blog idea would be how collaborative process protects your child from the fallout of conflict. If you're an MHP and talk about how a litigated battle can affect your children more than a collaborative process that can bring them in and allow their voice to be heard. A webinar idea, you can create financial clarity during divorce, tips for couples and families. Another blog post, the role of emotional support in collaborative practice. And maybe even from a lawyer standpoint, the value of having additional team members to the process. I know that that's a big thing that people are talking about, is making sure that, a full team is utilized. Well, if you're the professional, if you're a lawyer, a collaborative attorney, why don't you write a blog as to, well, I know I'm the expert here. You're coming to me as the expert, and I know that these people are going to help your process. It might seem like it's a lot more upfront, but it's really not going to be more than it is to litigate, or it's not going to be more than it is to do another process, because they're professionals in their area and they're going to keep you on track. And the financial person can help you with the finances a lot better than I can. I didn't go to school for numbers, I went to school for law. Um, so utilize some of those things that you have experience in and expertise in to create this content and build your brand as a thought leader in the collaborative community. Ensuring consistency in all your client interactions. Your brand is reinforced by every client interaction. You don't know who's going to leave your office and talk to who, or I'm sure you all have experienced it when someone's come into their office. Oh, well, my friend told me about the divorce they went through, and she took her husband to the cleaners, or he left me with nothing, or whatever it might be. I'm sure you all have heard preconceived notions of the collaborative process or of the divorce process. And where does that come from? It comes from real life experiences from previous clients of divorce talking about it. So your brand is reinforced by every client interaction, from emails to intake forms, ensuring that all your communication reflects your tone and value. Again, back to the emails and your branding. Hey, let's schedule this meeting. Let me know what works for you. Versus, I understand it's a very busy time. The holidays are coming up. Maybe you have a lot of family obligations. Would there be a better time for us to have this meeting? Or, what is some availability that you have in your schedule? And I'll take care of communicating with the team what works with them. Making it more empathetic, more personable. And feedback is always valuable. Ask your clients for their perception to refine your brand further after that initial consultation or after the collaborative case is completed. Just, it doesn't have to be something that's public, but something for yourself. Hey, what is it that you really liked about the process? Were there things about the process that you found off-putting that we could improve on? Though that type of feedback is really going to help you continue to define your brand. And as we talked about, and as you've already seen here in the chat with Gary, that's ever evolving. You might think something is so great today, and yeah, it attracted, that client to come in, but what's going to attract the next client to come in, and how can you get even better? Um, and an exercise to take home, review your communication material to ensure consistency and create a checklist for your team to align on your tone and procedures. If you have someone answering your phone, do they have a checklist or a rundown of questions that you would want answered, so you can properly screen those people that are calling you to make sure that they're, or to gauge even how they're perceiving your brand. Did they call up and say, I heard that you're someone that's going to fight for everything that I want, and that's why I gave you a call. Maybe you don't know that because your secretary answered the phone. They're just passing along, hey, Joe Smith called and they want to set up a consultation. Um, so getting that feedback, and again, I know some people might have issues getting public facing testimonials. This is separate from that. This is feedback on yourself, feedback on the work that you've done to help you better define your brand and better define your messaging. Um, one thing again, one thing again, sorry, we've talked about is the consistency. I might have been a slide ahead there, my fault. Um, for your communication, we talked about it in your use a branded email signature with your logo, with a tagline. Always address clients by their name, open with a warm, personalized greeting. Ensure your forms and material use that consistent, bright coloring or that empathetic messaging. Maybe it's not just do you have minor children? It's if there are children, at home, what do you envision as their future for them? Or if there are adult children involved in the process, how do you want them to be involved? Do you want their voice to be heard throughout the process? That's better than just a yes or no, and it gets a little bit more connection. It shows that, hey, I don't just care about if you have young children or if you have adult children. I care about the well-being for them. I care about what you want for them. Not just hey, this is another thing we're going to have to work through by building a co-parenting plan because I know you have children that are underage. Um, and then again, to get some feedback, did you feel our communication reflected our commitment to respect and understanding? Share your thoughts, direct them to get not necessarily the answer you want to get, but to get the feedback that you want to get. Go ahead, Sharon. I see that you have your hand up.
Yeah.
And
All right, can you hear me? Okay.
yep.
I'm sorry, I have a bad cold in case of laryngitis. Okay,
Oh
so
no, get better soon.
I know. Thank you. Um, I guess one of the things that is a surprise to me is how much people really, when I ask them what's been working for you and are working together and whatever, they consistently that the fact that while I'm helping them to make sure and our team is making sure that they have all the information they need to make good decisions, thoughtful decisions for themselves and their family, that that I'm not pushing my ideas as to what I think they should really be doing. And I did used to do that. I'll be honest, that I kind of was like, wait, that doesn't make sense financially. Like, because sometimes they want to do something like that just didn't make, you can't really keep the house. What are you thinking? And the financial person is, we're talking about options, but the idea of talk about letting go, I really had to let go. My motherly instinct of wanting to know what's best for them and what I think they should do. And I think that I'm hearing more and more about how much they appreciate that. I know I'm not doing this, and I know this isn't what you think I should be doing, but I'm really comfortable doing it. And then I just, I rejoice with them. I celebrate with them whatever decision then they're going to make, and that is very appreciated. I don't know how to put that into branding, but I just thought I'd mention that to see.
Well, that goes to what these exercises should help you do, and helping you write out some of your strengths, and that is a strength to be able to recognize that, hey, I need to step back and I need to, let the client take more control as they're sort of imposing my own will. And in your messaging, it's not, I'm going to be here to get you to the end of your divorce process. It's I'm going to be here to provide options to find the best solution for you and your spouse. Let them decide if they have options. I'm here to listen to your interests and to work out several different paths that might be beneficial for you and your spouse to go down in this divorce process. And so those are things to consider when you're building out your branding and your messaging, because You want to allow clients to have that self-determination. You want them to be able to choose for themselves. And your divorce, your choice. Maybe that's a slogan that you use. I'm sure someone uses that, but it's not your divorce. I get you here to the end. Let them know right away that they are in control. Um, Gary, well, I see Bernard put in here, emails can introduce laziness in communication. Absolutely. Make sure it's a little personalized, say good morning, ask how their day is going, ask if there's any things that they've been dealing with that they need to address. Hey, I just wanted to check in and see how things are going. Are there any issues that have come up that you want to address? Have you thought of additional outcomes that you'd like to see happen? You know, by the way, we have a meeting that we need to schedule to talk about all of this. Is there a time that works for you? Personalize it, make them feel like they're being heard, and not just make them feel that way, but really show them that they are being heard. Um, Again, Gary's still evolving in his messaging, creating solutions so you can move forward. And I love that because, again, it's what you do. You help create solutions, not the solution, and allowing you to move forward. Um, or maybe even so, creating solutions so your family can move forward to go further on what we've talked about. Um, so I think that that's really important. A couple more slides here, real quick. Um, Again, marketing for collaborative professionals. Obviously, what we talked about the last couple months. Collaborative marketing is about lifting everyone in the field. This isn't work that we can do by ourselves. By empowering others, whether it's collaborative colleagues or clients themselves, you're creating a ripple effect, and that's again part of your branding. Oh, well, I know that you know Cynthia only refers collaborative clients, and that's worked for me. And she's not going to come to me and fight that we're going to be, having to litigate against each other. I want to work with someone like that. It creates that ripple effect of branding that people know that you can be a trusted professional through this process. Um, and so helping one person can lead to community wide benefit as referrals and positive experience amplify the impact that you have on your community. Remember, what goes around comes around, and building your brand is a long term strategy that strengthens the entire collaborative network. Again, it's one of the best parts about marketing a collaborative process is that one collaborative matter should lead to many collaborative matters. And with that, make sure, and I know it's easy to get comfortable with a team, but make sure you're inviting new team members to join. If you've used a financial professional 5 of the last 5 times, maybe for the sixth one, you pick a different financial professional. Or if you only have 3 or 4 collaborative professionals that you refer to, maybe mix in a fifth or sixth one there, and maybe only refer one that you know and 2 that you've never worked with before, but that are a part of your practice group or that have, like yourself, branded themselves as peacemakers in your community, and get to know them that way, because that is how you're going to grow your brand. Partner with your peers, write a guest blog post for a colleague's blog or their website. Maybe someone in your community that has a professional newsletter that they send out, or they have a newsletter they send out to potential clients. Ask to write a guest piece for that. Highlight what it is that you do, your specialties, and showcase your skills and your collaborative spirit. One thing that I know a lot of people do: host an event. Organize a local workshop, work with your practice group to talk about the collaborative process, to raise awareness in your community. Get flyers out there that say, "Hey, want to learn about peaceful process options for divorce? This is the workshop to do it." So I think those are really valuable ways to help expand your brand within your community. Building a strong personal brand isn't just about standing out. It's about helping clients feel confident, supported, and connected. A well defined, authentic brand reinforces the value of collaborative practice and helps you make meaningful difference. As you move forward, I encourage you to implement the exercises we discussed and revisit your brand regularly. Again, revisit your brand regularly and ensure it evolves with your growth. Thank you for being part of my training, and I look forward to seeing your incredible impact that your personal brands can have. If you'd like to get some more, as Ed mentioned at the start, I'm holding a 4-week marketing program that's tailored specifically to collaborative professionals. It's going to be focused on building trust, credibility, outreach skills. We're going to go more in depth on actually creating and developing content and messaging. We have a workbook that we're going to be following along through this training that's going to help you equip yourself with the tools that you need to become the best marketed and branded collaborative professional you can be. It's a 2 hour training that's going to go over the course of 4 weeks, so in 8 hours in total. I encourage you all to register. The cost is going to be $200 for my collaborative team participants, $300 for non-my collaborative team my collaborative team participants, and we'll get registration out immediately for those of you that want to sign up. Thanks everyone for being here today. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now. If you'd like to meet personally, one-on-one, my contact info is on the screen. You know, self-plug, you all like to use teams and talk about the team approach for, doing the process. Why not have a team approach for marketing? Employ or seek out the help of a collaborative marketing coach that can help keep you on track, that can help set goals, that can help you refine your messaging, and even help you create content where you feel needed.
Eric,
Thank you,
thank you
everyone.
very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
That was great. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you, Sally.
And
Thank you.
we hope to see y'all tomorrow, 4:30 at happy hour. It will be our last happy hour for the year. You don't make it there, we will see everybody next year. Have a wonderful holiday season, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Thank you.